What's up, y'all? You kicking it with the Junkyard Dog on junkyarddogs.com. My name is Tony, for those of you who don't know. So right now, as you can see, I'm in the junkyard. See if I can get you a shot out here. I'm in the junkyard, and I've been getting it in today. So you guys, later on, you're gonna see me do a couple more things on Project Mayhem. Just ran into a little hard spot with it. Just trying to figure out a couple details. But as soon as I figure those details out, boom, we on the cracking. All right, so check it out. This is what your boy been working on for the last like 2 hours. Yeah. And then working on another one right now. Coming home with me. All right, let's get it. So check it out. It's been a while since I've been able to put out a video, but it's a good thing. On the back end, the website's been doing great. I really appreciate everybody who's been using the website and posting their parts and buying parts and trading. That's dope. I really appreciate that. So check it out. As you guys saw on the last episode, last episode, was that I was fooling with this pulley setup on Project Mayhem. Well, I got it to kind of be how I want it to be as far as like the belt length and everything. But I learned some science along the way as far as like belt slap and all this other stuff. So my buddy Steve out in Florida, he hit me up and was like, yo, you need a spring on one of those pulleys. And I'm like, well, I got the mechanical tensioner. I just finished designing and all this. And he was like, nah, man, what's gonna happen is that when you gas it, it's gonna tighten. And when you let off the gas, it's gonna loosen. And you need for a spring to kind of take up that slack. And I'm like, oh my God, like as soon as I think I have it figured out, it's something else. It's a science that I don't really know about because like I said, I build motors. This is something I haven't tried before, so whatever. Anyways, on another note, until I can come up with a solution, I'm gonna start to kind of fiddle around with some of these electronics. So when I say I'm fooling with the electronics, this setup will absolutely not run without a standalone setup with its own computer. The stock computer will not run this. I mean, it might try to run it, but it's gonna run it like crap. So anyways, I got the MS3-PRO set up. I ended up getting this from a guy in the Facebook marketplace. The guy had bought it for his car and then he sold his car. It looks brand new, doesn't smell burnt. It came with the wiring loom, or the wiring harness I should say, and a bunch of other stuff, and a USB drive for the tuning software and all that good stuff. Alright, so we got the plastic legs in here, and basically we're going to get the computer ran out here. Then I absolutely want the fuse panel somewhere on there, so I guess I'd have it like here, and then have the leads or the wires go through here. And then I gotta put the relays here. What's great about MS3 is they send you this diagram, kind of gives you an idea. And I have my friend Steve in order helping me out. He's got a pretty dope YouTube page as well. But basically the battery is gonna go in the back of the car. I have a long 2 gauge wire going from the back. And then this red wire is going straight to these fuses. Well, it doesn't indicate it here, which I don't know why, but the fuse panel should be here, right in this area here before it touches anything else. Should go to the fuse panel, so it should go to this positive lead right here. So I got the big boy cable going right to that. Then I have one going to a relay, which is the ECU relay. So this is for the computer. So we're gonna have one relay. Let's pull out the relays. Where are they at? Oh, there they go, right here on the table. Looking all over the place. So boom, we've got one ECU relay right there, right? And then we have another one going to the fuel pump relay, right? Now the diagram says fuel relay, which in my opinion I think it means, because according to this drawing it goes to the pump and the injectors. I kind of don't want to put them all on one relay, to be honest. I kind of want everything to have its own. Just like cars, you know, the original way the car was made. So then we take a third relay for the pump, and the other one's for the injectors. It's all going to be fused on their own fuse, because according to this, if you look, the red lines here, it goes down to each injector, and then it has one that goes down to the pump. I don't want to do that like that. I think that I should have one for the injectors, one for the relay, and one for the coils too. One relay for the coils. So we'll need another relay. Bam. So we'll have 4 relays on the board. Like that. Alright. And then we're going to need some strips here to maybe to run power to multiple relays at once out of one unit. I'm not sure. You know, I'm still kind of dancing around why I would need this. I'm not so great at electronics either, but whatever. We'll try it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to give you guys like an update because, like I said, I really have not been able to figure out what to do about this situation here with Mayhem. It's just become like really like, and it's got to be this pulley that pushes on it, or I could figure out a way to add something else down here to kind of push in on it a little bit. But my buddy Mark, shout out to Mark, he brought me this this pulley setup, if you can see it. And this, I don't know what this came from. I think it was like a Suburban or something, but it just, you bolt it, and wherever you bolt it will give you the, you can put the bolt and maybe some sort of stopper bolt to hold it from rotating and use that as a tensioner. So I don't know if the bolt size here is the same as this one, but it's very cool. I like this idea, but I'm thinking if I can get it to go like that, and maybe I should put like cut this part off here and put a block there and then have it kind of press in, and then when you tighten it, it brings it back straight to that spot right there. So that's my idea as far as how that's gonna go. I put the alternator back on, I put the power steering pump back on. I'm just trying to get an idea of what's gonna happen here. Now the next thing that I wanna do is I'm gonna start to machine the plates that I'm gonna have on the inside. So the inside of this intake, I'm gonna have 2 other plates that direct the air. And then on the front of these, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in a way to match the intakes here, and then mount these to the top of this somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm gonna do it one way or the other. All right, so I already drilled the holes for the MS3 to sit right there. If you can't really see what I got going on, that's what I got going on here. Then I just put the relays. Now what I don't like about this is that they swing all over the place. I'd imagine as I'm driving, it's got to swinging. So I gotta figure out a way to kind of secure them. I tightened them at one point, but then also the relays, the actual like clamp or the bracket that holds them is loose too. Like these ones are bolted down, and like, you know, and they still kind of rocky. So I don't know, it bothers me a little bit, but I'm sure we can figure a way around that for the most part. So we have the MS3-PRO diagram online. Now for the most part this is pretty simple to understand. I took a marker and I drew some stuff on there to kind of make it clear to myself. It's crazy because I noticed that this diagram does not include some of the things that would be smart to put in there. One of those things being the fuse block is not in here. It says to put a 20 amp fuse in line, so I'm just assuming that's where the fuse block would be. So we got the battery here, and then the positive comes out the battery, and then we're gonna have it, and I put a note in there to fuse panel, right? And I'm gonna have a relay I have a fuse that goes to the ignition switch. right? Even though there isn't one there. I'll have a 20 amp fuse that goes to the fuel relay. 2 amp fuse that goes to the ECU relay. So if that thing heats up even a little bit, it's blowing. But I'm gonna add 3 more relays. One for the fuel pump, obviously as it's marked here, one for the injectors, and then one for the coils. According to this diagram, this one relay here is powering all the injectors and the pump. From what I understand with this, so if you look at the relays here and just kind of look at how they are set up, there's the numbers 87, 87A, 86, 85, and 30, right? So 30 is blue. Then we see that 85 is black, 86 is white, 87 is yellow, and 87A is red. Okay, so we figured that out. We got that set up. All right. So there you have it. I got the little terminals right there. The only one that goes directly to the ground here is the ECU ground, and all the other ones. So the way that the MS3 works, from what I'm led to understand, is it grounds out stuff to control it, right? So it turns grounds on and off. So this actually connects to one of the wires on the harness to ground it out. All these do to turn the stuff on. Yeah, so once I have it mounted in the car, I'm gonna know how much wire I'm gonna need to run it to the ignition switch, which would be 86, which is this white one here, right? So actually what's interesting, now this is a perfect example of what I mean, right? All the relays got to get turned on by the ignition switch, right? So you turn the key on, that's pretty much like the key, right? But I don't have a key in this car, it's a race car. So you turn that switch on, and then it's supposed to activate everything, right? Turns the relays on to get power to the ECU. So that's what powers us up in the first place. Thing is, there's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So 4 86s. They all gotta go. So this is where your terminal strip comes into play. You're gonna have one wire coming from the ignition switch, boom, goes into here and then turns all these on, and then it'll activate all the relays. It goes like that, connects all of them. So this bird's nest is starting to look less like a bird's nest. So check it out. All right, so I just put some fuse. These are fuses are right. This one's too big. That's a 5, and the instructions call for a 2, or the diagram calls for a 2. So that's just there for right now. So these are all the power. The main power is going to come from. So I don't have this. This is the ignition power block. So the power from the battery is going to come in and go here to feed these, and then it's going to come here to feed these. So this is 86. So this is what turns the relays on to open up to get all the power to all these. All right. So there's like 2 separate systems: power to here, power to here. This is to open them up. This is for the real power. So that's kind of like my little thing so far, my little bird's nest of parts. All right, it's trying to come together there. We went through all of this, and like I showed you guys earlier, this pulley needs to be spring loaded. So I'm gonna try to figure that out, but I'm not gonna do that now because I want to finish getting the actual intake welded so I can start cleaning everything up and cutting this down and making everything look a lot better. I don't know if I had showed you guys, but behind this plate here, underneath here, there's an area that's kind of poking out in front of this front plate of the intake. So I'm gonna have to measure everything because I'm gonna have my buddy Sean weld it up for me. I'll use this black marker here and marked the front of the plates underneath with the marker as to how far they have to come forward. And then I'm gonna do some cutouts in the front of the superchargers too. Not the front of the supercharger, but front of these plates. All right, so now you see what I mean when I say the entrance of the supercharger just peeks out in front of the front plate here of the setup. As you can see on both sides, it peeks out just a little bit. With so much supercharger sticking out in front of this intake, this thin little piece of 1/4 inch aluminum, I don't think it's gonna hold it. I think it's gonna buckle. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna use the front plate that we have here with the pulleys, and then I'm also gonna add these little pieces here, boom, to give it some more strength. So I'm gonna cut these pieces and then put a plate over that, and then maybe cut out a little bit here to the height of this piece. Not too much though, because I don't want it to lose strength overall. But that's basically my solution to that problem. You know, just get it in there, just like that, and then just cut out just a little area, just so the air could kind of be channeled back into the main part of the intake. Let's get the superchargers off, and let's take this whole upper intake off. All right, so there it is, all removed. So with this, now that this is off, that's the piece in the middle, and then this is the next piece over that. And I marked the cutout area. So I'm gonna measure how deep I wanna go. I don't really wanna go that deep. And then on the plates, this area here gets cut off so that the plate will be flush. That way he won't have to struggle with this area here. Intake side, and the same on that other plate here. So I'm gonna use a bandsaw and cut this off. Serves as a gusset as well as some direction for the air that's coming out. So I was like, you know what, I could kind of maybe even make these little pieces a little smaller so that I don't have like a pocket in here. But yeah, I'm gonna use that as like a gusset, and maybe actually I don't even need to make them smaller. I could just take the piece that I want in between and just butt it against it in here somehow. But yeah, that's the steel I'm going with to give it some strength, stop it from buckling down. On the inside, I'm gonna have a plate going from this line to the base, so like that, going across like that. All right. That's designed to give it a little bit of rigidity too, to stop it from kind of buckling down. So this stops it from buckling down at the top. This one kind of keeps it sturdy at the bottom. That's my way of trying to tie in both the upper and lower. And then also the cap here as well will tie both of these together to give it some more rigidity. Yeah, it is what it is, but we back in there. All right, boom. There it is. So yeah, I just had to address some of the last little issues with the intake. So we're gonna go ahead and cut off some more of this aluminum here, add some aluminum some other places. I got plenty of scrap pieces back there. And I also gotta start to think about the cap, how I'm gonna machine the cap, because the cap can't be welded in. It's gotta be to where I could bolt it down, and also will provide a point to like maybe break a gasket or something in case I get a backfire or something like that, right? So I'm gonna use the cap for that. I think it would be the best place. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. Be sure to subscribe and hit your boy up on junkyarddogs.com, all right? We out here, Junkyard Doggin', woo!